Welcome back. We've done the first 30 minutes of Industries Live with Karen and I hosting together. Industries Live is live every other Tuesday from 8 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. Make sure you keep adding it to your calendars. It is a different industry each 2 weeks. So you will find out kind of those crossover applications like we were just talking about with 12 Labs. I am Dr. Karen Hildebrand. I lead our partner solutions architects for media and entertainment, games and sports that we'll be talking about today, but also for financial services and healthcare and life sciences and telecommunications at AWS as well. And I'm joined today, the two of us Karens are co-hosting. So Karen, would you introduce yourself again?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Hildebrand. I am Carin Forman. I am the Global Partner Lead for Media Supply Chain and Archive. What does that mean? I focus on partner strategy enablement across media supply chain partners and moving our content also in media, entertainment, games, and sports. And I'm super excited to have just had this conversation with yourself, Karen, as well as with 12 Labs, and now talking about another really big use case that we see a lot in our industry, which is the request for localizing your content into multiple languages for the ability to get a higher footprint, as well as for monetization purposes. So today we're joined with another colleague from Deepdub, Oz Krakowski.
And while we bring Oz on stage, I will say for everybody that is joining us, please drop in where you're joining us from and drop in your questions. I know that we're overflowing with questions from the first half of the episode, so keep them coming. I see there's a few that we didn't get to. You can always reach out to Karen and I at our Amazon email addresses, but you can also find us on LinkedIn. So keep those questions coming. We'll try to pull as many in as we can. And with that, Oz, will you please introduce yourself?
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Oz Krakowski. I am the Chief Business Development Officer for Deepdub. Been with the company almost since inception. Maybe a few words about what we do, who we are.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what Deepdub is.
Deepdub is we're a GenAI voice company to the core. With a very, very strong focus on media and entertainment. This means that we design, we create, we synthesize voices, and we developed workflows and different methodologies and technologies around it to make it accessible and relevant to the media and entertainment customers. And we're going to dive into this further in this talk.
So Oz, as we get started, why don't you tell us about what trends you're seeing in this space and what Deepdub what Deepdub customers are asking for?
Yeah, it's the past, I would say, 5 years, and has nothing to do with AI. Especially in the media and entertainment industry, what we see is that the industry is going through a transformation. The entertainment industry is restructuring, is constantly looking for efficiencies and new ways to monetize. We've seen in the past couple of years, the big studios, laying off a lot of people. We constantly see those type of restructurings, M&As, acquisitions, etc., that happen in the industry. And the reason is, it's a very low margin overall business. And extremely manual. So we've heard from 12 Labs just before me about some aspects of it. Where we come into the picture is we are helping our customers to be a little bit more efficient, sometimes way more efficient, and also to monetize, to actually find new, I call it new dollars, basically new money that didn't exist before with what they have. Think of it, I say there's $1 on the table, wouldn't you take it? It wasn't there before. So what we do is we basically help our customers take, for example, one way that we're engaging with customers is take content that is sitting in basements, that is not doing anything, and monetize on it. How does that come into play? Think of a major title that was created, I don't know, a title, like show, TV series, could be 100 episodes, could be even more. That was shot, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and it was in English. it already kind of like end life. It's a could be a great title, but there's nothing to do with it right now, and it could actually do pretty well outside of the English speaking regions. Um, the problem there's that kind of a chicken and egg problem. The ability to make a positive revenue out of it doesn't exist, or at least until now didn't exist, because the cost of localizing content, meaning replacing the dialogues with a new dialogue in the target language, the cost of that was just higher than the license fees, or what you would actually get for selling it, which means that the project just doesn't exist. It just doesn't even start. If you're not going to start a project that you know that you're going to lose money on. And this is one major pain point where we come in and say, listen, we can do it fast. We can do it also in a reasonable cost, at a reasonable cost, so you could actually make a profit out of it. And suddenly there's a project. So this is one way. Another side of it is being more efficient. In your post-production processes, find a way to be more efficient, or we can create new use cases, new methodologies, new tools that allow you to be more efficient. And again, just like capitalizing on the previous talk with 12 Labs, where they're creating an efficiency in search, we're trying to create efficiencies with voice or voice editing, and we'll show that with our demo a bit later.
So Oz, actually, I think that's a great segue. You brought along 3 different demos for us to get through today, and I think that they're really all fantastic because it makes it more real when you're actually watching along and you can see like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I could do. So do you mind if we jump to the Go demo right now? Would that work?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it.
Hi everyone, my name is Maya, and we are going to localize content using Deepdub Go.
Supongo que no somos invitados.
Sois bienvenidos. Eres el invitado de honor.
No estoy seguro de poder hacerlo.
Now, let's create the English version.
My stupid brother locked me out of the house. Johnny, come on, man, open the door!
Now, I have the power to choose how involved I want to be in the process. I can create glossaries for my content and ensure correct pronunciations.
I'm not sure I can make it. I have a lot of offers.
I can change the text and improve lip sync.
I'm not sure I can make it. I might have plans, dude.
Plus, Deepdub Go's AI chatbot can also assist with rephrasing text or answering questions about the story and its context. I can give my characters any accent.
I'm not sure I can make it. I might have plans, dude.
I can also select a brand new broadcast-ready voice for this character from Deepdub Go's licensed voice bank. All the changes I've made will automatically carry over to this new voice.
I'm not sure I can make it. I might have plans, dude.
And even, being the control freak that I am, give the system the exact performance I'm looking for.
Why can't she just go?
Why can't she just go?
Yep, it's that easy.
I think a demo just shows exactly like what you can do and the power. So that was really awesome. I thoroughly enjoy a good demo. Now, we also talk a lot about working backwards from customers. So you talked about the trends that you're typically seeing. Tell us about how you formed a partnership with AWS and how that has accelerated what Deepdub is designing.
Yeah, there's actually a funny story there, but I will say that we've built the solution on top of AWS from the get-go. So we're really utilizing a lot of the services that actually give us the ability to claim, the security, the speed, a lot of the capabilities that we have in the product. But essentially, what happened in the past year, I would say, year or year and a half, is that we also partnered with AWS on the go-to-market motion, which has been tremendous, and Karen and I have been working quite substantially on that front. But the funny story is how it all started. Where at one of the industry events called the IBC a year and a half ago, I was having a meeting with a customer at a coffee place or a cafe outside of the event place, and an hour and a half later, I get a message on LinkedIn, and this random person is texting me, "Hey, I couldn't help overhearing that you are in a space that we're really, really interested we're really looking for GenAI partners. And that person was Robert Raver, is a lead partner, a solution architect partner, partner side. And the same day, we actually met with Karen and other people at AWS already. And this event is in Amsterdam, IBC. And and from there things just kept rolling, and we're very thankful for the partnership with AWS. There's a lot of like I said, go to market motion together, where we're going to customers as a consolidated solution, and it shows that the level of strategic partnership that we have with AWS. And I think it also goes back to what Karen said about the fact that we hear a lot of customers, or a lot of people, or a lot of players in the industry, in the media and entertainment industry, are actually expressing the need for solutions that are making them more efficient, that are helping them monetize on content.
So, Oz, since we've been working together, you've had many product offerings on AWS, which has been a wonderful opportunity for AWS. You have your managed service, you have the API, you have the Deepdub Go demo that we just saw, and recently at the National Association of Broadcasting conference, you launched something called Deepdub Live in response to some of your customers having live content. Can you speak to is that an additional trend that you're seeing in this space?
Yes, that's true. So we launched Deepdub Live a few weeks ago. It's been in the making for the past year. But honestly, if you go back to podcasts and interviews that I've had myself since 2021, this was part of the vision all along. It's not something that we suddenly, we thought that would be pretty cool to do. It's something that we envisioned from day one, in fact, that the technology eventually will, it's the combination of all aspects of the technology coming together into one synchronous, streamlined process, where you take a stream, an incoming stream, you transcribe, translate, and you immediately generate it, and you can do additional things on top of it in order to make it a quality dub in a target or multiple target languages. Think about a sport event that you see coming in English and coming out in multiple languages. This is an upcoming trend, and I foresee that in the coming couple years, we're going to see this technology taking more and more space in live events in general. It's still, I would say, it's still early stages for the technology overall, but we are at a point where everything in the process, every part in that stream or in that flow of data is already at the point where they can work together into one streamlined process that gives us a pretty quality and pretty actually exciting product. What we do is, and I think that's where the beauty is that the way we design our LLMs for voice generation, they are able to really transfer that energy of the original voice. So if you hear, for example, a commentator that gets excited, you get that excitement at the target languages. It could be multiple languages. So that type of engagements immediately, again, going back to what I said earlier, immediately creates monetization opportunities for something that right now it's tied to a specific language, and now immediately I open up, for example, Latin America with a stream in English. So just new opportunities to monetize and be more efficient.
And just like everything, I always ask if there's a demo, and I think you brought along a demo of Live as well. Is that right?
So we have, I have two more demos. One of them is the API. We have a demo of Live. This is actually the video we used for the announcement, and let's play the live demo.
Announcing Deepdub's live dubbing. With Deepdub's live dubbing, what I'm que estoy diciendo ahora mismo se está doblando en vivo al español. Es genial. You can dub any live event. Sports, news broadcasts, gaming, and even your mom's dinner live stream in real time, preserving tone, pitch, and excitement. With fully emotive voices, available in 100 languages and dialects, so your mom can really go global. And if you can't use the original voice, just pick one from our licensed broadcast-ready voice bank. Live dubbing that's actually live. Welcome to the future. Welcome to Deepdub.
I love that. I am still not going to offer that my mom can go live. I'm just not going to do it. Sorry, Mom. I know you're watching. Not going to do it.
Well, I will say that again, the cool thing about it is it's extremely simple. It kind of like just works. You know, you connect the endpoints and it just works. So it's really exciting. You know, once you watch it and see people's expression when you switch. You know, you flip the button and suddenly the English transfers into Spanish, and like, oh wow, all right, and I can understand it. It's pretty good.
I like it. Karen, you and I have never hosted together before, but I feel like now we should come up with a consistent live stream so that we can use that. And then it can be like going global in minutes, like we always talk about at AWS. We will be able to live stream you and I global in minutes in lots of different languages. It could be fun.
I love that. And similar to you, where you had the opportunity to play in the 12 Labs playground, I had the wonderful opportunity to test some of this in the Deepdub playground. And I will say, using their synthetic voice and listening to me speak Spanish, French, Italian was quite international of me, and I felt that it was the new me.
I love it. I think that's the best part about being a builder at AWS is like we get to play with all of these cool partner technologies. And clearly, like we're getting to showcase this live with you today, but we get to do this all the time in the background. And there's a few partners that just build something that's really easy. I was saying to my boss yesterday on Slack, I was just letting him know how easy it was to actually use Deepdub as well. I took down one of my old videos that I had hosted and dubbed it, and it was really funny to actually see how quickly we were able to make progress. And it's a really neat way that you can also introduce it into your own company. If it's not something that, you know, that your company's ever thought of, say it's even your training and certification program videos, it's a great way to actually make it real, is to actually build that demo out really quickly. So I think Deepdub, you've done a great job, and Oz, kudos. It's so easy to actually get started.
Thank you. Yes, I think the way I approach Deepdub Go, or I describe Deepdub Go for people that come from outside the voice design or voice creation process, area or background, it's just like thinking of a graphics designer that is not using Photoshop. It's right. I mean, it's something that you cannot really fathom these days. You know, it's like you're not a graphics designer if you're not using Photoshop. Deepdub Go is exactly the same for voice editing from that perspective.
It's a cool description. That's a cool way of saying that.
Yeah, and technology is moving at such a fast clip, and I must give kudos to the Deepdub team as we have talked to them about new features and add-ons to their product. Things like the emotion feature that they added so that you can bring that emotion if you're doing a commentary. Also the live feature. So again, a shout out to the Deepdub development team as we've gone down this partner journey together over the last 18 months as you continue to evolve the product on behalf of our joint customers.
And for those that are joining us on the live stream, drop any questions that you have for Oz in. We'll keep looking at those. It's awesome to see that the demos are also resonating. You're getting a lot of "that's great" and impressive comments, Oz. So I would totally agree. The demos make it real. So feel free to drop any questions, or also just tell us where you're joining from. We always find that pretty interesting as well. And Oz, I know we have 9 minutes left. I don't want to miss the demo, the last demo that we have along.
Yes.
Do you want to throw that up next?
Yeah, so maybe a quick intro. We've seen the Deepdub Go platform. This is the tool, or the tools that you can use to edit voices. We've seen the live, which is exactly the other side. Like everything is automatic. What we have in between them is the API. It's the ability to say, I don't need all that sophisticated editing capabilities. I don't want it entirely automatic because it's not live. I just need to tap into the LLM, just grab that voice or the dialogue that I'm looking for, and I can do it at scale. And this is where the APIs come into play. But I will say, as opposed to the traditional way of giving coders or programmers API documentation, what we decided to do is to do a voice playground that is kind of like a no-code access to the API. Let's see the demo, and I think you'll get a feeling of it.
Welcome to Deepdub's Voice Playground, your no-code launchpad to world-class voice design. Choose from a library of professional-grade voice presets,
like news anchors,
IVR agents,
or cinematic narrators,
all crafted to captivate your audience. Customized voices with advanced controls. Adjust accents, pacing, and emotional tone. Preview sample dialogue instantly to hear the magic unfold.
Take a deep, soothing breath and allow yourself to relax.
Once you've nailed the sound, grab your auto-generated code snippet and drop it directly into your project. No documentation diving needed. Design, test, and deploy custom voices at lightning speed. Deepdub's Voice Playground. Voice AI made effortless.
Oz, thank you for sharing that. That's another example of the incredible tool set that you all have put together. One of the customers actually that we've been working with very closely, or you've been working with very closely with AWS, is Paramount Anime Studios. Can you speak a little bit to that customer case study and what you're doing with them?
Absolutely. And by the way, I'll say that every voice we heard in the previous video was synthetic. All of them were from the Voice Playground. But yeah, we actually have a very exciting partnership with the Paramount Anime Studio. They are pretty much using all of our tools. They're using the Deepdub Go platform, the APIs, and also the managed services, which is where we use the Deepdub Go to provide services to customers in multiple languages. And the idea is basically, taps exactly into what I said before. How can we enable them to monetize and be more efficient? For example, take a show. So they produce shows that are not necessarily in English, and there are multiple ways where they could use the platform. They use the platform in order to be more efficient in the process. For example, in the ideation process. In the past, studios would have to send a script to stakeholders to sign. Now those studios, the production studios, can send something that is already kind of like an early sketch, or something that has voices, and you can create your own, voice the script your own way. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it gives a better understanding of what it is compared to just reading a script. This is one way. Another way is produce a show that is not in English, but you're trying to sell it in other regions that are not the source language, right? Let's say in the case of Anane, they're creating it in Hebrew. They're trying to sell it in Latin America, and they're using Deepdub Go in order to create trailers for the show before the show is even done shooting. They don't have all of the episodes yet, but they can already tap the market. They can already go to the sales team and say, hey, can you see if we can get buyers for this content before we even finish shooting it? Traditionally, it's really hard to engage before you have the entire content done. And right now, what we're doing is we're enabling them to do this much earlier on in the process. It makes the project much more viable, because a project with a buyer is obviously better than a project that the risk of it is, you may not have buyers at the end. So all of that type of interaction, and Paramount Anime Studios is one customer like this. We have several that are using the platform in different meaningful ways to streamline the content creation and content localization processes.
And Karen, you work with so many of our partners and our customers. Tell us a little bit more about what you're seeing as well, and how Deepdub is solving for the overall value chain that you're talking about. Tell us kind of where you see that fitting best.
Well, thank you for that, Karen. It's interesting that Oz met AWS through that conversation he shared about Robert Raver. But about 18 months ago, we were seeing a big need from our end customers to look at localization as an opportunity to really expand their footprint, whether it be to test untapped markets like Oz just shared, or really to look at how to monetize content that they had sitting on the shelf, but they couldn't get into those other markets outside of maybe North America. So this very much aligns, and the partnership has really nicely come together because it's a top use case for us to localize our content. And as we go through that partnership, we've really shared some of the voice of the customer that we've heard with Deepdub. And as you know, at AWS, we work backwards from our customers, and we've heard things like How do we get video dubbing in place for over 100 languages? How do we handle accessibility? Accessibility is something that's really important both in North America and in the EU. There are things coming out in June of 2025 where accessibility standards for content coming out needs to have both descriptive video and sign language. And again, this is feedback we have given to Deepdub, and they have risen to the occasion, and they have incorporated these features to meet the compliance standards that we are seeing globally.
And I think that's the kind of exciting partnerships that we love at AWS. And it's great. Like Karen, I think a huge call out to you and the business development team for being able to see these trends globally. Oz, huge call out to Deepdub for developing and building. I know my partner solutions architects have been working with you for over a year, and they keep bringing you up in our one-on-ones about how innovative Deepdub is. The number of demos I get in just our one-on-one conversations is huge. So I really appreciate that the partnerships where people see each other as a long-term strategic partner are the ones that accelerate the quickest. And I think both as you're selling to customers and we're working with you as partner solutions architects and as our global business development team is working with customers, that is a great way for everybody to understand how we move most quickly for our customers. And thank you everybody that has been joining in. This has been a phenomenal session. I am going to give Oz 30 seconds to you to recap Deepdub, and then Karen, I'm going to throw it to you for 30 seconds before we are wrapped up a minute from now. So Oz, let's start it off with you.
So first of all, if you're interested in learning more, go to deepdub.ai. You can sign up for a free trial on our with our APIs, or sign up for a demo. We specialize in media and entertainment. We've already dubbed thousands of hours of content. We specialize in balancing between the creative and the technology, and those are the things that make the difference at the end of the day, especially in this industry. So check us out, and I'm looking forward to hearing from people on that are watching this online stream.
Thanks, Oz.
So as we wrap up, I first want to say thank you to Solomon for some great questions in our chat. Please feel free to reach out to me over LinkedIn so we can better support you. But one of your questions was interesting about streaming live on podcasts. We have partners like Deepdub that we work with. We also have partners that complement Deepdub that do audio separation. So when you have multiple voices and you need to separate that audio to get a clean audio track so that you can localize in that language, we work with Deepdub and partners to do that work. Deepdub has those capabilities, but we also have partners also that do the audio separation that complement the Deepdub the tool set. And in wrapping up, I love international travel, and the fact that I can now speak 5 languages is a wonderful opportunity with their synthetic voice. And I encourage everyone to really reach out to these partners that we've discussed today, look at their playgrounds, work with them, contact us at AWS. And I just want to say on behalf of co-hosting this with Karen, Dr. Karen Hildebrand, I want to thank you as a co-host, Karen.
Oh, it was awesome. It's always great to have such phenomenal partners on. And again, for everybody that's joined, 2 weeks from now, we will be back with 2 more partners and the financial services industry. So please mark that on your calendars for 8 a.m. Pacific time, 2 weeks from now. And thank you for tuning in today. It's always great to be able to chat with our partners and our customers. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.